The views and opinions expressed by the guest author or speaker during this live session are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Reader's Magnet. The content shared is for informational purposes only and does not constitute endorsement or promotion of any particular belief, ideology, or product.
Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another awesome day here at RM Hive, and you're tuning in to Reader's Magnet's featured author interview. I'm your host, Revan, and our featured author brings warmth, creativity, and island spirit into every story she tells. Inspired by family, life experiences, and the beauty of the Caribbean, she shares reflections that celebrate joy, connection, and the meaning found in everyday moments. Her passion for storytelling is rooted in love, culture, and living life with purpose. She is the author of our featured book today called Essence of Life: Poetry and Life in Motion. Please welcome Jennifer Fahie. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you for joining us here today. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. And how are you
Yes.
doing?
I'm fine. I'm so excited about this because I love poetry books. And this one is actually a collection of poems, I believe. And I want our viewers out there to get to know more about you and your book as well. And before that, I would like to confirm you were with us during the LA Times Festival of Books, correct?
Yes, I
How was your
was.
experience? How was your
It
experience
was
there?
fabulous. It was great. I have
Yeah.
not really been out, in the crowd like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
I met
I
other
really
poets and, authors, and they were very friendly. They made you
mm-hmm.
feel welcome. And the Reader's
Yes.
Magnet crew, they were great.
Yes, and it was actually a live broadcast. What I love about that is that, our authors actually get to connect with other authors. And I wasn't even here. I was in Japan that time and I was watching it. It was like
Oh,
8 in the morning in Japan and I was like, "Oh, I love these authors here." And right now we are actually featuring your book, Essence of Life: Poetry and Life in Motion. Can you tell us about that book?
Essence of Life is a collection of poems, and these are real life experiences.
Mhm.
So it's nothing that was made up. Okay, these
Mhm.
are lived experiences,
Mhm.
and it tells about everything. It tells about fate,
Mhm.
prejudice. It tells about love. It has your children, in there,
Mhm.
everything that you could imagine, anything that happens that, day to day.
hmm You know what? I love how you said that these poems are actually based on real life. Because I've actually met some of my friends are actually poets as well, and they write about feelings, about fictional worlds. And I love that yours is actually based on real events. So, what inspired you to write this book?
Well, at a point in my life when I was real down, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to talk to people that are close to you to be
Mm-hmm.
judged or whatever,
True. True.
I went online and, I was talking to, just making friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I met this gentleman, and we
Mm-hmm.
started to talk, and it started to be a once in a while, then it got to be a every night, and we
Mm-hmm.
talked, and I could have been myself, talking to him, not knowing him,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a very good listener. And
Mm-hmm.
he turned to me one night and he said, "You know what?" I said, "What?" He said, "You could write a book." He said, "You explain yourself so good. I think you would be a good writer." And I said,
Yeah.
"Are you serious?" He said, "Yes, I am." I say, "I don't think that's in my lifetime, And
Mm-hmm.
he keeps saying it over and over again. And then, I sat down and I thought about it one day and I said, maybe I can put my
Mm-hmm.
thoughts, my emotions, my experiences into something that someone could actually read and appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I
Yeah.
started. I said I was going to do one book, But then one
Mm-hmm.
book turned into two books, and then it turned into three books, and then it turned into some unfinished work that I
Uh-huh.
haven't, finished as yet. So I think it was great, and it's a way to decompress.
Mm-hmm. True.
It's like I like planting also, and it's not. It takes away all the frustration and the stress. So I really think it was a good idea. I just didn't see it before.
Mm-hmm. You know what, I can actually relate to you when you said that, it's really hard to actually share it, but one time you shared it with this guy. I love how you tell the story to him, and he actually told you to write everything, because yes, you can actually write a book. So if you have a lot of stories to tell, then write them down. So I love how this guy was actually given to you. It's like a sign from above, a message out there, and telling you to also share your story out there, because it's not just you who's actually going to learn from what you write, it's also the other people. And I love how you actually get to have your inspiration, from one book you try actually just write, and then there are more after that, which is another story to tell as well. I love how you share that to me, Jennifer. Thank you for that. And you also said a while ago that your poems have real life events, and I believe they
Yes.
touch on real life struggles as well, and emotional healing. And so,
Oh,
were there any
yes.
personal experiences that were difficult to put into words but became part of the book ultimately?
Well, I think I have a poem that says Black woman shame and
Mm-hmm.
prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
And this relates to the same person who wanted me to write the book in the first place. And you can talk to somebody
Mm-hmm.
online or on the phone, and you could
Mm-hmm.
just imagine how they look, you know?
True.
But I mean, that's your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
So, since we had so many good conversations, I decided, maybe I'd actually like to meet this individual in person. So I said, okay, I am familiar with North Carolina, and that's where he was, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where I decided to go. And I said, well, I need a picture so
Mm-hmm.
I can see who I'm, looking for and whatever. And he sent a picture, and when I saw the picture, I was like, I don't think I need to go there again. He looks like an Indian,
Mm-hmm.
belonging to a pack, you know. And I sat and I thought about it, and I said, I say, girl, that's being prejudiced. We don't
Mm-hmm.
always know when we're being prejudiced, but being prejudiced means a whole lot of things
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, actually, because the color of somebody's skin or,
Mm-hmm. True.
where they're from or whatever, we need to learn to appreciate and embrace that. And if we can't do that, we are prejudiced, but we don't always know
Yep.
that, and it was hard for me to, to write that because I never thought I was prejudiced about anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I went ahead and I wrote a poem on it, what I thought when I
Love
got the
that.
picture and everything. And I felt so ashamed to know that, girl, you're really prejudiced. And your ancestors, they were Indians too. So what you talking about? And that it was something to reckon with.
I love how you actually have some self reflection on that, and you can actually share it as well through your words, and it's really inspiring. Listening from an author, from a poet, yourself, and I get so inspired by a lot of people, and this one story is actually so strong. It's really striking, and it will actually inspire me a lot to write more. And going back in your journey, in your going back in your writing process. So, for example, you're a poet and you first write it privately, right? So when you became a published author, what has surprised you the most about sharing your story with the world?
Well, first of all, I didn't think anybody would appreciate it or even want to read it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because you always have that thing, you're not good enough. And
Oh.
when I got to LA Confab and I actually read some of my poems to them,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I look at the faces there, I was like, oh my God, I really made an impression on
They're
these
actually
people,
people, yeah.
because they search inside their self,
Mm-hmm.
and compare it to what I was saying.
Yeah.
And they were amazed. I mean, there was this one lady, she started to cry because
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a poem, Missing You. And
Missing you.
when I talk about missing you, it was actually somebody that I was supposed to get married to. We
Mm-hmm.
made arrangements and everything, and he died. And
Oh.
I mean, you go to the hallway, or sometimes you would smell
Mm-hmm.
that perfume, you would hear that
Mm-hmm.
voice, but
True.
you're telling yourself, "Am I going crazy?" But it's just a way of coping with things that happen,
Mm-hmm.
and
True.
with each person it varies. And she said she had lost her husband, and you know that's the way she felt, you know but
Mm-hmm.
you're not going crazy. It's just coping with your
Yes.
grief.
True.
And later on you can look back at it and you really smile and you say, I really did this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it happens to all of us, because all of us
True.
have experienced grief at one time or another,
Yeah.
and you still think the person is there and everything. So that was, a surprise to me, that I actually was able to speak, and there were people who
Mm-hmm.
actually felt what I was speaking about, because at one point in time they had been in that situation.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I really love how you opened about, that thought that says you're not good enough. We call it the imposter syndrome. I love how you opened it because it's actually real and everyone actually everyone actually experiences it. So for example, you're already there becoming an author and you still have this inside you, you're not good enough. But then you actually try to get through that. It's a challenge, but you're still surprised that you can actually get you can still get through the voice because there you can always find a light. There's a guidance that can actually help you get through with all of these negative voices. Sometimes you help you try to transform these negative voices into positive ones, transform them into something that you can actually grip into to get to the light at the end of your tunnel. And I love how you opened that up. And um and going back in today's fast-paced world, a lot of people actually struggle with that as well. They struggle in silence with pain, doubt, or loneliness, and the imposter syndrome. What conversations do you hope your poetry encourages to people?
Well, I hope that people reading them will learn to have faith. You know,
Yeah.
faith is something that we just have to, you know, we have to grow in faith.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't have faith just like that,
Yes.
And
True.
I hope that they be able to see things differently.
Mm-hmm. I love that, because poets always have as for all our viewers out there, me and Jennifer actually had a conversation backstage, and I was like, I love how poets actually use words because they like pull me into a different dimension. And I believe poets have this vocabulary. They know how to use words that actually help inspire people or motivate people. So just a simple line will actually help, let them see the world differently. And I love that this actually deals with sharing faith to people, inspiration. And I love that that you are that type of a writer or an author or poet in Jennifer. So right now, if you could sit down with your younger self, before writing this book, before all of this, what wisdom or encouragement would you share with your younger self?
I would say go for it. You don't have to
Yes.
wait. Sometimes we sit there and we write something, but we say, if I write this with this person, you
Mm-hmm.
know, feel silly, or if I write this with this person, think I'm crazy,
Mm-hmm.
or all those kind of things dance in your head.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's for you, go ahead and do it.
Yes, I love that. I always hear that from the amazing people as well. They always tell me, they always give the advice, go for it. And I love that you also share that because it's true. So for all our viewers out there, it's true. So if you have the opportunity, go for it because you never know what's gonna happen. And right now, Jennifer already has 3 books and there's more upcoming, and I love that for her. So right now, Jennifer, I would love to give the spotlight to you. Tell us where we can find your book, and if you have other things that you might want to share as well.
Well, my book can be found on Barnes and Noble. It can be found on www.jenniferfoy.com, Reader's Magnet, and it can also be found on Amazon.
Nice. So that's Jennifer Foy, everyone. Get your copy of Essence of Life, Poetry and Life in Motion, available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, and also on Reader's Magnet bookstore. And this is also available on her website. That's www.jenniferfoy.com. So I will spell it out for you. That's JenniferFahie.com. So that's www.jenniferfoy.com. I always read it funny. I'm sorry. Let me just go back. That's www.jenniferfoy.com. All right. Jennifer, it has been a good time with you here at Reader's Magnet. Reader's Magnet, thank you for joining us here today. I had fun.
Thank you. And I am delighted.
And guys, let's open the pages and unravel the secrets of your personal odyssey. And I believe that your ink never runs dry. So go tell your story, you storyteller. This is your host, Revan. And as we say it here at Reader's Magnet, we share your
We
story
share
with
the
the
stories
world.
with the world.
Bye for now. Stay awesome.
Bye, awesome.